Everyone's off Wi-Fi? Okay. So we are here at Kill Meeting. Text me, gentlemen, lady. It is 1:30 here on Sunday, March the 29th, and we're finishing up our finishing school on Sunday for Paola and I to speak about kit management. It's all about being organized, but here are the three keys before she even gives her message. Three keys I'd like you to write down in kit management. Kit management. Number one, inventory check. You have to just have an inventory. Meaning you need to know how many kits you received from Molia, how many do you have in your, how many do you have physically available inside your office, how many are missing, and how many are in possession of reps. And she's going to cover that system. The second thing, so inventory. Two is kit collection at a designated time. The kit collection at a designated time. And I do prefer, I like the Sunday. I like Sundays for branches, in between your outgoing PDI calls in the morning, and in between the PDI calls and driving PRs early in the shift, like around between 2 and 3. One more time, I like anytime Sunday before receptionist kickoff, and anytime is Sunday after receptionist kickoff early for about an hour, because after that you really want to focus on demos and recruits. So inventory, set time to do call and collection. And then number 3, clarity and training. Clarity in how you explain the program and training. Clarity in terms of the kit talk, which is also already a video, note to self, on the YouTube. It's my day 3, and I talk about the kit. And I talk about how the kit belongs to the company. I talk about how the kit belongs to the company, and we used to charge a fee, but you get it for free, and it's worth how much? I call it $400, and there are 20 of you here. So what's 20 times 400? $8,000. So if you guys leave training today, day 3, and I never see you again, for some reason we made the wrong choice and we selected someone shady and we don't see you, and you go and you abuse the program and we're on the same page, guess who's responsible for paying for the $8,000, everybody? Guess who's responsible?
You are.
Me. So think of training in this way. This is how much I believe in you. I believe in putting a $400 wager, knowing that you're worth my $400 investment, because I would eat that if I didn't think you would. So know that we're in this together. So I'm going to time out. That's essentially my kit talk. So one more time. Inventory, set time to call, and it's all positive calls. It's not like, hey, you have our kit. That's not how you do it. And then number 3 is, of course, how you set up the trade. So I'm going to turn things over to our district manager, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Miss Paola Inman.
Okay, so a few things
Can you
that
just make sure that my computer's got the board and you? Okay.
yeah, we're good. A few things that I want you to make sure you have. So first is like organizing. Make sure you have everything organized. So that's the first thing. What do you need to have organized? So first, you're gonna get all your kids in. So either way, the company can make mistakes. So make sure you count them before like putting them in. I usually have, if you have any family member who's like a doctor or somebody who has like file cabinets and stuff like that under lock, you should try to get one for free. That's what I did. So because you want to have your kids under lock. Usually the company, I'm probably almost sure they're gonna do it this year. They'll sell you one. But always try to get one for free. So if you know a family member or a family friend that's a doctor, they usually have one. Usually they're going from paper to electronic anyways. So they usually have a few of them just lying around. They don't know like what to do with them. So that's what I did. I talked to my mom. My mom had one just laying around. So I took it, and there's where I put my kids. So my kids know, like, it's like a normal file cabinet, and I have them there. Okay, so you want to make sure you know where to put it. It should be under lock. Like, so I try to put it like in a room that's locked, file that's locked, like everything is locked. So that's super important that you have that organized. So make sure you count them. Always you have to know how many kids you have in office, how many kids you're giving out, how many kids are there going to be shipped from Oli. And there are certain things you have to know. So first I have what I call a sample kit lock. I'll show it to you. I don't know how to connect this. how do I do this? So you guys can actually see the document. Is there like a connector thing? So you're gonna see as soon as we connect it. First, every time I finish training, something I do is you should have the reference sheets. That's the first thing you should have. I have a binder. I call it my free loaner binder. In there, I have the reference sheet. You should know, I think Jessica ran it the same way. I don't know how the pilot actually runs it. But we have a free loaner binder. We have our reference sheets in there. And something I also have in there is the sample kit log. So every time I finish training, I'll just write it down there. Okay. Every kit I give out, I'll write it down with their phone number. Okay, and their contract date. So when's the date I gave them the kit? So their day 3 date. Or if I have somebody that I do like a Sunday day 3 or whatever. So I'll give them a contract date. I'll put it down there. Okay, you'll also see, let's see if I can just pull it. Here it is. Okay, so you have the rep's name. I did this when I was a branch. So this is I run the same program I did when I was a branch. So I have the rep's name. I'll write it in pen. Phone number, contract date. So that's the sample kit lock. I always make sure. I usually used to do this on Sundays because it was when I just launched the training and I had everybody who was turning in kits on Sundays. That's another reason why I liked it Sundays, because I can just do that Sunday night when I'm just doing like emails and all that stuff. I'll do it. Since you're a branch, you're doing this by yourself. When you're not a branch, you probably have an assistant making sure everything is ready. My office, we used to have Carolina. Usually now I put either Oscar probably is on this. But I'll make sure somebody's looking at it. So you're also going to see a column that's like confirmed date. Like sometimes you'll get a rep that can't come in on a Sunday. That should be super rare. But I'll always put here on confirmed date. That's confirmed date. They're going to be turning it in. That's what they told me. So I make sure like, hey, they didn't turn in the kit this week. Let me give them a call. Hey, what happened? Oh, something happened with my car. They give me whatever excuse, put another date. Also, when they turned it in, I should have date and time. I have managers because I have assistants or a receptionist. Because you never know. Usually when it's Sundays, it shouldn't be a receptionist. But if somebody comes in, just you're giving an interview, you're doing something, and a receptionist is there and just grabs the kit, make sure your receptionist know what the kit needs to have. Because sometimes you'll have that. A receptionist that just is there, she gets the kit, you're either doing active or you're running an interview or you're doing something, you can't just stop the interview for them. If a receptionist actually handles that, make sure they know how to handle that. So I usually put like the initials, just in case like I call somebody's like, oh, I already turned the kit. It's like, oh, really? To whom? And I just look at that sample kit. It's like, I don't have it here that you turned it in. Because that's not usual to happen, but you can get somebody that says that. So you want to make sure you have it all written down. So this is usually my first pages of my free loaner binder. And I have my free loaner binder by trainings. Question?
The manager is with you with the initial thing?
Yeah, just initial, just to make sure who grabbed the kit, who inspected the kit, just to make sure. So you have that, and to put it in Vector Connect. Is that something else? Because you have to put it in Vector Connect. I can show you where to do that. But sometimes you get a receptionist. Receptionists have no idea how to use Vector Connect. So you have like a rep that turned in their kit 3 weeks ago, but you got charged. And then you call that rep and say like, hey, where's the kit? Oh, I turned it in like 3 weeks ago. You check it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a super awkward conversation. You do not want to have that. So you want to make sure you have this all written down. And you want to make sure you have it in Vector Connect. So that's your sample kit log, just so you know. Free loaner binder. That's the second thing you want to have organized. I'll rewrite that. So you have your free loaner binder. So that's where you have all your reference sheets in. You have one binder. You want to make sure you clean it up. Because if not, you're going to have like 3 binders this thick of people that already turned in the kit and you're never going to hear of them again. So you want to make sure you clean, especially districts. Because if not, you're going to have freeloader like references from people 3 years ago that, obviously not going to use. So you want to make sure you have it clean. Something I you have different ways of organizing. I like to do it by training, so it's easier for me to look for the reference sheet. Okay, so I'll just do it by trainings, and it's easier that way. Eventually, districts, what I usually do is people who have bought the kit, people who are AGL, just normal reps. And it's easier for me to like just go by that. Depends on how you like to organize it. Okay, but you always want to have all your reference sheet, organize it in a binder. So you have your sample kit lock inside your freeloader binder. Okay, so it's right there. And you want to have that on like inside. I usually have it inside where I have my kits. So it doesn't go where the freeloader binder stays in the office. That's something incredibly important. It always stays in the office. You don't want like the person who's in districts, the person who's in charge of your free loaner, you don't want them being like, oh, I'm gonna make the calls from home, or that's a big no-no, because then that person can lose the binder, or something happens to the binder, you lose a lot of people there. Okay, so just make sure you have that. Also, the company is gonna send you a report weekly. The report, I can show you the report. Something that you're gonna have there is the company gives you 4 weeks if the rep's inactive. And it'll tell you the rep is still active, the rep is 1 week inactive, 2 weeks inactive, 3 weeks inactive, they're gonna tell you it's gonna be charged on the next week. How many of you have not seen this report? So I'll show you, I actually have mine right here. That should be on one of your folders, on your email folder, if you remember. So I can show you this one. The email folders that you were supposed to have. So this is what it looks like. It's like first page. And here you have like the code. So they have a loaner. Let me see like this. It's kind of difficult here. No kit issue is that they don't have a kit. Okay. Usually you'll see that a lot in, for example, Tallahassee. We have a lot of people who are just doing virtual. They don't have a kit, but they're active. That's probably what you're going to see. Okay. Active loaner, 1 week with no activity. Two weeks like chargeback possible in 2 weeks, and then you have the 3, which is they're going to charge you next week if you don't have that. And so you want to make sure you keep an eye on that. Okay. For example, I'm going to have here. Okay, here are people you call. For example, you have 3. These are next week they're going to be charged if you don't have that in. So those are people like you've probably called them before. So this is like an urgent call. So this is like definitely references. You're probably not contacting them. People who are 2s, people who are 1s, and people who are active, and then you have the whole list.
Sorry.
See ya.
Have a safe flight, guys.
You have the phone number and you have the email. Obviously, the company already sends text messages. I'm almost sure, I'm not sure text messages, but definitely emails, constant emails, cards to their house. Like the company is very on top of this when it comes to kids. So you got to make sure, like it's probably you have to like call them or either references. I usually do references. Like if they're 1 week not active, usually people who are like, maybe they didn't sell, they're on vacation, whatever is going on. 2 weeks, I usually, that's like, okay, let's turn in something that you could. If the person is active, it's going to the office, something you could do, they can turn in the kit and they can just get it out again. That's something you could do. That's done in Vector Live. It's like if they turn in their kit, I'm going to show you how to do that later. I'm going to touch in Vector Live later. But it's like if they turned in the kit, what you do is you just inspect the kit. That's what I usually do. Hey, this is a normal inspection. Remember, in training, we told you if you were 1 or more weeks inactive, you're just going to go ahead and inspect your kit. That's what I'm going to do now. Make sure everything's fine. And I do it with them like right in front of me. Okay, your knives are okay. This is okay. Making sure they have everything. Okay, if they roll it correctly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, just make sure they have their kit in order. Okay, so I'll just check that. I'll mark that it's turned in. And in their Vector Connect, they're going to have to ask for the kit. And you'll see that submission or that they request the kit. There you see that in your Vector Connect. You go ahead and agree, and then when those weeks are going to be reactive. They're going to start from 0. Okay, but don't do that for everybody. Do that like somebody's in a vacation or you had planned that they weren't going to be doing demos, so you don't have this like going on consistently. And then you just give them back the kit and they're good to go. Okay, but you have to be paying attention to that. Okay. So this is usually what it would look like, the report. Okay. Questions on the report, it's pretty easy, self-explanatory. Okay. Something I do is whoever is managing your kits, you want to go ahead and forward that to them. Okay. I usually meet with this person on Sundays. Sunday morning, or I'll have a call just to make sure we're clear on everything. But this is a report you have to be checking on. Okay. So that's one thing you'll have there. Also, when to call, when not to call. I don't know how the pilot does it. Maybe somebody is a little bit different when it comes to us. But I know first week, usually somebody that had a vacation. You know, is either not doing demos, had it like went, on a week, which shouldn't happen. But it's usually something that is planned. 2 weeks, that's definitely a conversation. Like, hey, what's going on? Let me check. Or 3 weeks, that's definitely, I usually do references if on that second week, just in case if I haven't gotten in contact. But you want to get that reference just done fast. How you call this people. Like if you're talking to parents, like it's definitely, you can't be aggressive, you can't be defensive, you can't, it's like, hey, I haven't been in contact with Kenneth for a while. Is Kenneth okay? Yeah, I've just been trying to call him and I can't get in contacting. Thing is, he should be reporting in because he has a kid. And I just want to make sure the kid is all right. So, and obviously Kenneth is all right. Is there any way I can contact Kenneth? Oh, he's actually right here. Just talk to Kenneth. Like, hey, how are you doing? Everything's okay? Yeah, I haven't heard it from you for a while. Just want to make sure we just inspect the kid. Okay, it's just so they come in and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you can't be aggressive. But as soon as you're aggressive or defensive, what's that rep going to do? Just MIA. It's completely MIA. And then you lose a kid. Do not want that to happen.
That's something you say is like, I don't want you to get in any trouble with the company. Is that something you say?
Puerto Rico, we can't say that. Mm-mm. Legal terms, you can't say that.
Well, we say that like we don't like enforce it in any way, but like you know what we like.
Yeah.
What they ask.
Yeah.
Like what kind of trouble?
The thing is, in Puerto Rico, it's different because everything that's legal, they can get you in legal trouble. The only person that can talk about it through a phone is like an officer, a lawyer, like somebody that has like, yeah, it's somebody official. It can't be you, or the company. It has to be like the company. When it comes to US, I think you probably can say, I used to say that as a branch. Right? Like, yeah, I just want to make sure you're not in any trouble with the company, and I want to make sure you're okay. So do you think you can just pass by Sunday, whatever time you have available for that?
They ask like, oh, what kind of trouble like get into? Is there anything you'd say?
No, I usually do like, hey, remember the contract? Okay, I just want to go over that since you have company property. I just want to make sure that's okay. You don't get in any trouble. I'm not sure because it never really happened before. But we already got advised by the company that we should talk to you about the kid. Just want to look out for you. Okay, you shouldn't be talking about that on the phone. Okay. So any other questions? That's a good question, by the way. But Puerto Rico, definitely no phone conversations on what could happen or getting into trouble because that could backfire. So I just make sure the protection is like, hey, I just want to make sure, like we said in the contract, we just want to inspect the kid, make sure everything is okay. No, not like that. But just make sure they come in and actually walk in with the kid. Because you can have reps that just walk in without the kit, and it's like, where's the kid? So just make sure, like, hey, bring your kit. We need to inspect your kit. I'll make sure you bring everything. Make sure you bring your blue book. Make sure you bring and just list out everything that needs to be in the kit so you can go ahead and inspect that. But that's with the reports. Now you have the Vector Connect report. You should review your Vector Connect as well weekly on that same Sunday. It'll give you a report. You're supposed to, let me open it up. You're supposed to send like a number of how many kits you have in office. And it'll tell you how many kits. So that's why you have the simple kit log. Because that's what tell you what number you should be having. How many do you actually have? So that's why it should be with the kits so you can actually count them out. You obviously, every time somebody turns it in, make sure you inspect it and clean it up right there. You don't want to just leave it around the office and then you lose kits that way. It's like, oh, I'm missing a peeler. Okay. They open up that kit and they just get the peeler. You always want to have, if you, for some reason, you don't have the time to do it now, or it's a receptionist and doesn't know how to do it, make sure in your file cabinet you have a section for kits that have not been reviewed. So, or they can just post it, hey, this kit hasn't been reviewed, or cleaned up, better said, because they should review it when they turn it in. Okay. So make sure you have a section on your file cabinet on that. On your Vector Connect, how to reach this, it's like a report. You get a Vector Connect, you get on my office. On the sample kit, I don't know if you can see that. You're gonna see sample consignments. Kit summary, verify count. That's where you actually see, let it load. There you go. Here's what you're gonna see. So if you can see this, you're gonna have, the first thing is total number of kits on consignment. So that is what you have, kits on loan and then kits in the office. So this number is what you're verifying, how many kits you have in the office. And making sure that the number of loans is the same as your sample kit log. Because there's when you start getting off numbers. If the number is off here, just make sure you check everything. What does this count? Not only the ones you have out on loan, but count also the one you use in your interview. If you have any on display. Like if you have any other, like if you are using, that you shouldn't, but if you're using one sample kit, like in your kitchen area or for your receptionist or cutting food or something. Whatever you have on your office doesn't only apply to the ones that, because sometimes you would count the ones you have on your cabinet and it's gonna be off because you're not counting the ones in an interview, or if you just shipped back some sample kits. This is for district, this is a big one because I know I missed my number because I wasn't counting. I had just shipped 7 kits out. I didn't count those kits, and when I put the number here, it was off, and they charged me for those kits. So you gotta make sure you're counting those as well. So every time I do this, is usually, I think it's monthly. Yeah, it's monthly, you have to do this. Just verify your number. Make sure, I usually call or just check, or I track the number because you should have a tracking number if Olean already received the kits. Because if they receive it, it should be here. If they haven't received it, just make sure you count them because they will count as if they were in your office until they receive that number. Okay, so that's how you actually do it. So you just put here, wrong one, how many you have in your office. That should be done monthly. Questions on the report is super easy. No? Perfect. So if you have an off number, make sure you talk to sample kits first. You don't want to put in an off number here yet. Make sure you call or email sample kits just to make sure if there's something wrong, or if they're shipping some and they haven't gotten to your office, that's another one you should consider. Because if you have an off number, you just put it in, you possibly could be charged. You don't want that happening because then it's not a mess to make sure you have it back, but you don't want those charges to be on your paycheck.
How often should branches like count their sample
Still
kits?
monthly. I usually do it bi-weekly. But you should at least monthly. You do bi-weekly because the summer is just so crazy. You don't want to be missing kits. You want to know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another reason why you have it on your file cabinet. Okay, so that's in organizing. Questions in organizing. It's pretty easy. Okay, it's easy. It looks easy on paper. It's not easy when you're actually doing it because you have everything going on the Sunday. You have your PRs, your phone jam, your PSP, PCs, like reps coming in to turning the kit. You have to verify your account, so you have to be very organized when it comes to kits. Calling. Who has done calling, like kit back calls before? What do you usually say?
It's just friend.
It depends what you're calling.
Example.
Whether you're calling them after, if they haven't been in the office for a week, or whether they've been gone for about a month.
Let's do a week. Let's go basic first.
So you just want to like open a conversation?
Sure.
So, hi Pal.
Yes.
Hi Pal, is everything okay?
Yeah.
We haven't seen you in like a week.
I know. I've been just so busy.
Okay, then you remember like during training we talked during in the contract. Every time that you're not working for a week, we just ask you to like check your kit in, and that way like you can just keep track of it. And then when you're ready to start working again, we can just load it back out to you. So
Oh, that's
when
perfect.
can you come in?
I could do Tuesday.
Tuesday at what time?
Morning.
I need like a specific hour, just so I know like, to expect because I'm gonna be in and out of interviews and everything else. So.
11 sounds
11?
good.
Okay, I'll write you down here for 11. Everything's good. We'll see you here then Tuesday at 11.
Okay, perfect. Feedback.
I mean, just confirming them for like the specific time, like you want that specific time. That way they feel more, they're like held more accountable, I guess, so to speak.
Example.
It's kind of like when you're confirming a rep for a phone jam. It's like, oh, what time are you gonna be in? Oh, like around 8, and then they get there at like 9. It's like, okay, I need you here. I need a specific time that you're gonna be here.
Okay.
That's why it's like more firm for Fridays.
Sorry. When they do PDIs normally like for Wednesday or Sunday or whatever, they normally give them a specific time or day. So I think that would probably be better because you want to make sure that you stay in control in a sense.
True, but this is somebody that we've not talked to in a week. Did you see it? They just went MIA for a week. Charles.
Yeah, you still want to be like, give me the kid. You want to ease into the situation, and you still want to build like, hey, how you been? Is everything okay? Make sure you're all right. Remember, this is like a library book. You gotta check it in, check it out. I see you're working a week, so are you gonna check it in for another week and then check it back out? What's your situation? And then explain, and then from there, all right. Well, I'm taking a week off. Well, all right, no problem. Not a problem. Perfectly fine. Why don't you come ahead and turn the kid in? What time can I expect you? And then go from there.
Okay.
So like you say, you don't want to be like, hey, where's my kid? Like, I need this. Ease into the situation.
Yeah, obviously build more.
Yeah.
I had a question and I just forgot it.
Don't worry if you remember. Just something that I want to make sure you put the time. Don't let the rep. Just when can you? Like you want to ease into the conversation, but at the same time you want to be firm about it. This is you as a branch. You can't do just any time they want. It's like, hey, can you come Sunday at 3 or it's like booking a demo at 3 or at 5 for 4:30 is better for you. Oh, I can't. I really suggest you come in that time. That's what I do since I can't tell in Puerto Rico. Since I can't tell them like you're gonna get in trouble if you don't. I really suggest you come at that time. That's the only time I have free. Can we work something out so you can come here? It's like confirming for a team meeting. You champions find a way. You have to be there at that time. That's the only time I have scheduled for turn back kids. And the same. Then I go through what Charles said. It's like a library book. You know, you have to check it in, check it out. But this is the only time I can actually check it in, and I give you the time of day and have a good conversation with you. I don't want to just like take the kid and just not give you a little bit of a tender loving care. So do you think you can do 4 or 5:30 is better for you? And then you just schedule. It's just like doing a demo. But it's like the same thing as clients. They think they have the control, but really they don't. It's your schedule. So don't let the client do your schedule. You're doing your schedule for the rep. Same thing. So make sure the rep, because you just saw your schedule. You're really not going to have time. And what it could happen is the rep comes in, oh, perfect. You get the kit, you sign the paper, the kit paper, they go away. When you open it up, you're missing a peeler, you're missing a petit carver. And that's not good. Yeah, because how they do it is they weigh the packet. So if it's not weighed correctly, they'll say you send in 7 kits and they'll book in 6. And then you have a miscalculation in your number. So you got to make sure you have everything in. Okay. Yeah. Question. Yeah.
So for example, let's say like a rep comes to turn in their kit and like we're in the middle of training, like should we take time out to go and like inspect the kit? Or
you should. What I usually do, it depends on the day. I'll tell them to wait. Oh, can you wait right on wherever you have space in your office? As soon as they like start role playing, I'll get like 5 seconds to just like make sure.
Or like what if you're in an interview or something?
I'll still make them wait. Yeah, and like before or pre or before or post, I'll just like.
What about if you like just started?
Try a receptionist. That would be your best bet.
Can you teach a receptionist to just like how to do?
Yeah, you could, but I would suggest that's like the last options because you don't want to take a receptionist off the phones for that.
Yeah.
Even though it takes 5, 6, 7 minutes, it's 5, 6, 7 minutes. The receptionist is not good. Yeah, so yeah, I'll make sure if they could wait for the full interview, I'll make them wait. Yeah, just make them wait. And maybe I'll tell like a receptionist, hey, if you see somebody that's, what I'll do first, the receptionist like keeps an eye. Hey, I'm gonna put this person over here. Or I'll tell receptionists in training, actually, I'm sorry. Like if the rep is coming in to turn in the kit, I'm starting an interview, make sure they wait. I don't want you taking time off the phones to handle it. If they're in a hurry and there's no way they can wait, then maybe. But if not, I'll make them wait. It's better for you. Like you want to make sure your receptionists are on the phones all the time.
Just have reps practice that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're turning in the kid. I mean, it depends. But try not to get a receptionist into that. One, because you know what the kid has more than the receptionist. You know what type of conversation you want to have. You don't want a rep that's like super upset. You know, oh I'm not giving you my kit until I get paid. That's not a good way for them to leave. A receptionist, the receptionist has no idea what to say. Okay, I'll make sure I'll talk to Paola about that. And then the rep is super upset. They talk to her friends. They got a sharp friend in, then it just domino effect after that. So you have to have, like when you get the kid, you have to have the right conversation. It's like hey, you know, everything you need, blah, 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 blah. It's like, we're always here to help. Just make sure that they're leaving on the right note. If they have problems with a check, just make sure you review that. Okay, maybe we made a mistake, like a check. Maybe usually is, at least in Puerto Rico, this is like the #1 reason their address is wrong. That is like the #1 reason. Of course you haven't gotten your check. You don't have direct deposit, 1. 2, your address is not correct. You haven't checked your address. All Puerto Rican reps need to check their address. That's like, yeah, and they never do. That's because for the Puerto Rican managers, that's because our way of writing the address is different from the US, and then the system doesn't know how to read it. So it automatically, it's like a problem order. It's a problem address, and then if you don't check that, the rep is never gonna get their check unless they have direct deposit. So it's very important that you check that, because then if not, you're gonna get a rep that's upset. So that's something to have like always in mind. So that's something I do in training. Hey, who can get direct deposit? The ones that don't, I like usually make like a little mark just to make sure we check their address. That's a big one, so you don't have that stress in you. It's easier. So any other feedback for Esteban when it comes to calling kids? No? But let's do when they've been a month. Like next week is gonna get charged. Who wants to do that conversation? Go ahead.
Hey, Kyle.
Who's this?
This is Nathan.
I think you have the wrong number.
Wow.
Yes, they will.
That happens.
Yeah.
That can happen.
100%.
I'm lost.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. Good. Who wants to try that?
Hey, Paola, how's it going? It's David from the Fort Lauderdale office. Sorry, I'm using.
That's fine. No, it doesn't matter.
All right.
I think you have the wrong number.
Are you sure? Is this Paola Stanza? We had you came in for an interview. You worked with us here in the Fort Lauderdale office for a little bit. We know you had kids.
Oh yeah,
You remember
yeah,
that, you know,
yeah,
the
yeah. I
noise and
remember.
everything?
Yeah. Sorry.
Remember that stuff? So hey, listen. How's it going? How's everything going with you right now?
I'm
Haven't heard from
okay.
you in a while.
Yeah, my grandmother passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How long ago? Just recent?
Like a month.
I know it's rough losing family members. I personally have lost a couple of family members and friends also. I know how things go. But listen, actually, I don't want to sound so sensitive, but remember that one kid, that black bag that we did along down to you?
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, listen, I know you haven't been working with us for a while, and I was just wondering if you wanted to, I don't know what your situation was, if you wanted to continue working with us, or were you looking for other opportunities as well?
I don't think it's working out for me right now.
Oh, listen, you remember how I said the kid is a loner
Mhm.
during the interview? Well, what I would like for you to do then, if you like for you to schedule a time for you to come in really quick, I want to schedule with you maybe Sunday around 5 p.m.
Mhm.
And that way I can just get you quickly. You come in, takes no more than 5 minutes. We sign you out, but that way we also, since it is a lower, we also avoid any further charges.
Okay.
And Can we do that? Can we do the 5 p.m. or would a little bit earlier work for you?
I think I can do 5.
Okay. All right. So I'll see you this Sunday at 5 p.m. If anything, I'm going to give you a call a little bit earlier just to remind you. Okay.
Okay.
I understand you're very busy as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. No problem. I'll see you Sunday at 5.
I usually do a reminder text to those.
Well, funny. We'll play with,
So make sure like you a reminder text or something like that just to make sure. Something I also do is like I'll just go like, "Hey Juan, how are you?"
Fine.
So there you just I'm good. It's like you already told me you're Juan. You know what I mean? Just cough your bar there because you're like, "Hey, is this Juan?" Like maybe they'll be like, "Who is this?" They give you like that. So I just go ahead like if normal. Hey, how have you been? Is everything okay about the whole
You ignore it?
conversation? Sorry?
They pretend like they don't know you.
No, I don't ignore it. I just if I go like, "Hey, Juan, how are you?" And they'll go like, "Oh yeah, I'm good." It's
Oh,
like
okay.
just making sure.
Instead of
You
asking,
assume it's them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their number.
it's like
yeah,
when you
when
you know
you
what I mean?
call for demos, so you can
Yeah, it's just-
remember.
It's them. You know,
If
it's
they're
them.
like consistently lying.
Just go to references. It's easier to just go to references. Yeah.
Conference call tomorrow. Only a quick comment, so we're done. Any other thoughts?
No.
Stop the broadcast now. 3, 2, 1, and.